What's up? Welcome to Playing the Star. We're doing one special episode and then, we're live today. Glad to see everyone. And we're doing one episode, then we'll have to do a stretch of a few weeks before we start again because it is summertime and availability of everyone isn't there. But for now, we got a show, we got stuff to talk about. And it's myself and Brian. What's up, man?
What's up, everybody? Hope everyone's doing well. There will be a lot of, you know, console war talk or shit talking, if you will. Excuse the language, but it has to be said. A lot of people want to be neutral or be like, no, console wars are bad when we're in the line of business. And as consumers, we want to get every value for the product we invest in with our hard earned money. So things will be said. If no one agrees to them or doesn't like it, feel free to come up and discuss it. You know, no hard feelings. It's just we're stating the facts that's given to us in our face, and that's what we'll go over today.
Yep, exactly. So there's a lot of stuff going on. We've said a lot of stuff in the past, some things that have not always been super popular, some that were stated as opinions, and some of those opinions or theories that we had actually got pretty much confirmed by the court, by the FTC, with actual emails from executives over at Microsoft that are handling Xbox. So a lot of dirty material came up. It's not pretty. Uh, so quite literally, Microsoft is on the hunt not to compete with Sony, but to eliminate them. That's what came out of this, which makes this transaction anti-competitive at its basis. But there's still a lot of debate going on with the FTC pretty much completed their preliminary round of for the hearing. Now we need to wait for an answer. It's gonna be could be long, could be short. We're gonna see how that ends up. But there's a lot going on. Trying to pull some of the stuff that I put in. So, what do you think of everything that was shown, that was said?
Uh, Personally, I'm glad it's not. Well, there's still hardcore fanatics on there on Twitter, of course. This is why a lot of people are leaving. A lot of people, whether on Sony's side or even Xbox within themselves, or Xbox as they call it, there's a lot of people are just fed up with the community because it's toxicity. Everyone's just fanboying instead of opening their eyes to what's going on. And it's like they don't see it. Like every time we show proof or we talk about it, it's no, you guys are hating on it. Xbox will devour PlayStation. Oh, they're gonna beat them next year. I'm like, dude, as my buddy Vet and I always tell him the analogy. It's just like the Commanders. All right, it's always next year. It's always next year. It, does people not get tired of that? Like always saying, oh, it's gonna be next year. It's their year. Next year when you're constantly getting nothing but disappointment, unfinished games, devs who are actually themselves telling you that they've left for a reason because they weren't happy with the management. No one even cares for anything. Pete Hines was lost and confused with what's going on in terms of the acquisitions and why all of a sudden the Activision Blizzard games, ABK games, are going towards multiplat where their games were forced to be scraped, and then on top of that, put exclusively for an Xbox Series X and S, with parity in mind, where developers were struggling with the Series S. No one wants to be put in that position. I haven't worked in the field, can't say I have. I've dabbled in development. It's not easy. People can talk shit and think it's easy and say, oh, well, how hard can it be to make a game? This, and that. Oh, you guys shouldn't have released it half-assed. See, the reason why we would say these things, for example, Redfall, is because these people, it's their job. They've been in the business for years, and they should have known the ins and outs of how to develop a game. It should have not come in that state. And then once the developers have leaked out and said it, there was a PS5 version they were working on because apparently there was a deal for it with PlayStation until Xbox got pissy about it and bought out the whole publishers. Not individual studios that PlayStation does. There's a big difference, people. They literally bought a publisher with multiple studios under their belt. And just like Doc said, it's all because they want to put out Sony because they were butthurt saying that, oh, we were afraid that next games were going to be exclusives. Well, probably, yeah. But that's not on Sony. They wanted to make a deal. They accepted the terms because they know with their marketing, the games will sell. No one's buying games on Xbox, whether people want to admit it or not. Game Pass has ruined that mentality for a lot of people. I was one of them. I didn't want to keep spending money if I didn't have to. But at the end of the day, for big games, I don't mind spending it as long as they put in the effort, as in the developers, which is what Sony does. They put in the time, the resources. They make sure to push back games if it's not ready. They don't announce anything till it's ready, or at least show things. And as sad as it is, and I know it's an ongoing rant, but it's just so much built up frustration over the past weeks of this crap I've seen. The fact that Doc, you've probably seen this, and we laughed at this. Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah.
You remember when I told you about that? I showed you the article. 5+ years away because
Yeah.
of the FTC court. They revealed, hey, by the way, the game's not even going to be available. It's 5+ years out. So you're telling me you showed us a trailer from like 3-4 years ago that was supposed to be for the series consoles, and it probably won't even be available by that time for this console. It'll
Yeah.
be for the next generation.
Yeah, it's that date is not landing within the life cycle of this console. By the way, just
It's
wanted to say Polaris sucks. Good to see you, man.
So it's just like it's the amount of crap that's come out, the amount of disappointment from developers under the whole ABK situation and the whole Bethesda situation. Now we've seen why, and we've called it out, Doc, multiple times. People want to say, "Oh, you guys are just hating on it." No, they've stated themselves they weren't happy and they left.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when Sony developers leave, it's not because there was a bad taste in their mouth or they were disappointed or there was an argument. They just reached to a mutual agreement. They were like, hey, thank you for the opportunity. I've done my part of what I was here to do. There was another job opportunity, and I wanted to expand upon that. That's it.
There's a ton of emails that were made public that were seized from different computers that were presented by the FTC and by Microsoft and all. And what we were saying of basically the devs are leaving, that's something that was mentioned by Jim Ryan in an internal email within Sony that at this point they didn't even like they're not even worried about the Activision Blizzard King acquisition anymore, seeing how things are going, because they know that the moment the acquisition is closes, that all the devs are just gonna wait for the money to come in for the big bonus from the acquisition, and they're gonna pick up their stuff and leave the studios, because that's what happened at Bethesda. Bethesda has a lot of talent, had a lot of talent. The acquisition went through. They waited for the initial contract to be over, and people just started leaving. What's his name again? The guy who did Hi-Fi Rush, Shinji Ikami.
I can't think of the name, but
yeah, Shinji Ikami.
Even the guy working on Perfect Dark, I believe there was a because of the whole court thing. There was a leak as well that happened where they showed Phil Spencer next to him, and they were like, "Hey, look, I guess Phil lied about playing the game early and this and that." When the game was even done or ready at all. It's still years away, just like Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah, there's footage. You don't see the screen, but there's footage of Phil Spencer with a controller in his hand, enjoying a game, and they literally said that he was playing a build of Perfect Dark, that the game was ready enough to be playable. And no, it's nowhere near even, like, it's still in pre-production right now, but early pre-production, because they keep throwing out whatever they have. Like Fable, they had problems. Now apparently Fable is in a good direction. They haven't given a release date for Fable, haven't they? I think still like 2-3 years away. It's not next year.
I would have even surprised if that thing comes out in good condition, to be honest. It's just the issue with Microsoft is they lost faith. Like, I don't have faith in them anymore. They'll say one thing, and then when the product releases, it's a whole other thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't say for certain. But no, they haven't given a date. I still don't know if it's going to be good. Hopefully it is. I'm not trying to be that Debbie Downer, but I'm also not going to hype up my expectation and be like, oh yeah, it's going to be the fucking shit. Because it's not like that was the only game I even waited years for to play. and bought the system for just to be disappointed.
Just checking
So
to see if there is a. I don't see anything about that. So we don't have a release date. Still
yeah, no.
speculations.
It might be like Elder
Uh,
Scrolls 6, where it's 5+ years out. Who knows?
yeah, the projections are like 2024, 2025, but nobody knows. So
Yeah,
could
that's their
still.
issue, man. They keep showing these damn games that are 10 years out, and we're laughing about it
It's
because we don't got to go through that no more.
you remember when they released the PS3? They announced the PS3. There was that Final Fantasy VII demo.
Oh yeah, and now
It's
people are using that as ammunition, talking about, oh, well, it took Final Fantasy VII remake like over a decade. I'm like,
it's
bro,
pretty much like that, but the difference is
it's a tech
that
demo.
Sony was clear about the fact, and they said it, but people kind of ignored that. And no, we want the actual game to be made. We want that. They said, oh no, it was just a tech demo to show the power of the console. It's just CGI
Yep,
made for presenting the PS3, while
exactly.
Microsoft shows less than that and says, "Oh, it's on the way. We're producing right now. We got people working on it right now," hinting that we're probably looking at end of the year, maybe next year. They've been doing that for a few years now, and what is it? 3 4 years ago, 3 years ago that they showed Fable, the trailer for it.
Yeah, basically when the whole series announcement, what happened, they had shown it, and that's why I was excited. I was like, oh fuck yeah, now I gotta buy a Series X. And then I waited, and now it's like,
and
hey, wait another 5 years.
and it's the same event where they showed the Elder Scrolls 6 CGI cutscenes that's not even like an engine or
The only thing
anything
they
like
showed was the
that.
title. It's just like
Yeah,
mountains,
it's
title.
you could see like mountains and animations and all that, but it didn't show much. But it felt like okay, they wanted to hint that the engine's gonna look a little bit like that, but nothing up close because they're not ready.
Yeah.
But they didn't even start pre-production. There was like a script that maybe has some stuff, but there's nothing else. It's 5 plus years ahead.
Yeah, because they keep changing the hands of the writers. That everyone keeps leaving, and even the like what we were talking about earlier, where the gentleman who was next to Phil when he was supposedly playing Perfect Dark, he went to Sony. And the reason why people are going to Sony is because they actually care about the outcome of the games, and they know that on that platform, people will buy. Every time there's always the sales charts. Every time people want to be like, "Oh, well, sales doesn't matter. It's monthly active users." I'm like, no, that is not how this works, and that's not how it's worked ever.
Mm.
It's always been sales, and the reason that is because without it, they wouldn't be able to reinvest in their own properties.
And one of the issues Microsoft currently has this gen, which might be scaring a lot of devs, is I'm sharing the screen right now. Someone put a
Oh,
comment on Twitter.
yep.
Optimizing for Series S Anaconda is a nightmare. It's a god awful system. No amount
Look
of
who he is,
planning
though.
can save from optimizing for it. Who that is? Level artist at XWorks
Forza.
slash the Lord of the Fallen. Previously, We Are Playground, Forza Horizon 5.
Yep.
So
He
he's
worked on Forza.
so he's one of the many devs that left We Are Playgrounds, but he's not even part of the half of the studio that left and started Maverick. Because half of the studio left We Are Playgrounds and started Maverick, another studio. And he's not even part of that batch. There's a ton of people that left We Are Playgrounds.
It's so bad.
So, Phil, Jim Ryan mentioned it in an internal email that was leaked during the hearing. Basically, most of the people, when Microsoft acquires the studios, are just leaving because they're fed up with the way Microsoft is treating its people. And it's not just development studios. They did a survey within Microsoft among many companies, and the answers of Microsoft was that more than 50% of the employees would consider leaving their job if they were offered something else equivalent.
Yeah. It's not pretty, man.
No.
I feel bad because I had such high hopes for the team. I've had such high hopes for Xbox,
Mm.
but it's like what Phil did so well is he created an illusion that he was so giving and they were doing so much for the players and giving such value and this and blah 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 while hiding the real truth of what he actually was trying to execute.
And the funny thing is, we're being labeled as PlayStation fanboys right now.
Yeah, that's far from it. I give
Yeah,
PlayStation shit all the time when they fuck
yeah, but
up.
like myself, like okay, I got a bunch of PlayStation stuff in my backgrounds. Like I play only on PS5 right now. If I had the budget, I would also have a Switch. I had Google Stadia. I only stopped when I considered that things were not going well. I like exploring multiple platforms. I was playing on GFN for personal reasons and all kind of stuff. I kind of dropped the GFN content. I don't want to elaborate too much into that, but I like multiple platform. I like to game on many things. I would love to play on Xbox, but and that's a big but. It's not because I am a PlayStation fan that I have problems with Microsoft currently and with an Xbox. It's because there is some major red flags about how Microsoft is handling their business, and they're pretty much predatorial on the industry, and they're hurting the industry pretty bad. Look at all the studios that Microsoft has within that they bought basically. Obsidian, amazing studio. They've done great content since they were acquired. Seems like quality has been dipping a bit.
Not a
Uh,
bit. It's definitely been
like
questionable.
Avowed looks,
Val looked like dog shit.
yeah,
Holy
Avowed
crap!
looked pretty bad. Grounded was fun, but that's a nice indie game that you would easily see like a studio out there with like 15 employees working on and would be a hit. But considering that it's Obsidian, I enjoyed it. But considering that it's Obsidian, I was expecting more. There's
Yeah.
major studios at Microsoft that it's like they're having problems because they're losing their talent, and the leadership is not doing their job right now. Microsoft's practices on a industry level is not good right now. So
Nope.
Nintendo is doing stuff right. Sony is doing stuff right, really right, because they've been going extremely well lately. Nintendo will probably release another platform. Uh, right now,
Oh,
there's
hold on,
multiple.
dog. Speaking of that, my bad.
Yep.
Show the Twitter. I don't know if you have this on there. There was a post that Xbox made, and it was the most depressing and saddest shit I've ever seen. But every single fanboy is gonna be like, "Well, that's good for them." But their sales, they combined Xbox One and Xbox Series, and talked about we had a combined sales of 79 point something million. I'm like,
You mean
bruh.
the number of console sales?
Yeah, and everyone's like, that's probably shipped, not even sold because it's been doing so bad that PlayStation's literally like way the hell ahead of them.
I think PS4 and PS5 just blew past 110 million combined.
It's 155.6. It's almost the
155?
mhm. It's almost equivalent to the PS2 sales, which was at 157, I believe.
Yeah, they're catching up to them. I know Zubitech did it. Okay, yeah, I got it right here. Yeah, the PS2 is at 159 million, and the
Oh,
PS4
there
and
you go.
PS5 combined is 155.6 million.
Yep, there you go.
And yeah, the thing is, going forward, those platforms, Nintendo can't really do that unless the next Switch does support.
Backwards compatibility,
Yeah, but like
which
those
apparently they
platform,
might be.
huh?
They actually might be. Apparently, there's been leaks, and
Yep.
there was a Spanish leaker who notified that they've already received the dev kit. So, just like everyone has been saying recently, because I know it's always been like next year, but there's been more evidence lately that it's actually going to be in 2024 for Nintendo Switch 2, which I'm excited about because I'm definitely buying that.
Yeah. So because right now there is still a lot of PS4 games being released, and it kind of makes sense if you release a game that like there's a lot of JRPGs out there that They're not going on heavy graphics. It's just fun games. They
Mm-hmm.
can just release a PS4 version and do a PS5 patch for faster loadings and all. So there's a lot of games still coming out on PS4, and I think it's going to be like that probably till the end of the PS5 generation because it's supported. I doubt it'll change for a while, and even beyond that. So we're seeing like an adoption rate that's like right now it's coming close to the PS2. Probably by next month, it'll blow past it because they're
Yeah.
selling a lot, especially with Final Fantasy 16. Those numbers are probably not in yet. They sold a lot of consoles with that, so the demand for the PS5 is very high. Uh, so it's a very healthy platform right now that we're seeing. Uh, really doing well. Xbox, on the other hand, sales are slowing down quite a bit. Their games, like they got some good games, but it's mostly third-party multi-platform games. What's the last good exclusive that Xbox got that was really good?
I want to say Hi-Fi Rush. I mean, it's a cool game, I guess.
Yeah, that
Very
was
short,
barely at the beginning of the year.
but that's about it.
So yeah, the sales are going on one side, and the other one, people are pretty much just switching to PC. A lot of Xbox players are switching to PC because
Yeah, I don't
it's
want to
not
deal with
worth it.
30 frames.
Yep.
And they've also lowered the Microsoft rewards apparently, according to some Xbox players.
Yeah, I
They're
saw
lowering
that.
it. No,
They
it's just like
increased the
bullshit.
prices on everything, and it dropped by half the amount of points you get for a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
So
kind of disappointing. But then again, I only use Bing just for the points, and then I use it to put on Amazon, and then I use Amazon in order to convert into the PSN or eShop cards. So I get to use their service to actually go towards my systems.
but yeah, there was an article that was published by Shannon Liao on IGN. FTC trial on mass Xbox ambition. Pretty much, she explains that for years, Microsoft has played the good guys. They've played like, oh, we're trying, we're investing to make the platform grow, and we're not trying to attack the competition. We're just trying to do our thing, and we want to provide good value. And that all the emails are pretty much the opposite of what they've been telling medias, but they've been paying people to push a message, and it's been pretty apparent. Uh, it's not part of this article. I'd have to find. Uh, Basically, Phil Spencer was asked if his intention was to make like Bethesda games exclusive, and you have like the acquisition that happened, and you have the date that he said no, we're going on a case by case basis, and our goal is not to take games away from PlayStation. And the day or 2 days before he said that, in the basically the meeting they had, that's when he said no, all Bethesda games going forward will be Xbox exclusive. We're going giving nothing to PlayStation. Like
Yep.
every one of them going forward will be exclusive to Xbox. And like 2 days after, he says that oh no, we're going case by case basis. And during the FTC trial, he's been asked about that many times.
He's the
Many times.
biggest bullshitter. He's like, "Oh, I don't remember. I might have won something like that. I don't recall.
Yeah,
It's been a
yeah.
while." I'm like,
That
shut the fuck.
that's the thing. He's been denying knowing like what the decision was, and claiming that it was still a case by case basis, and that their goal was not to take away games from PlayStation. And on the last day, they dropped that email that showed that basically the entire week when he was asked about that, he's been lying in court under oath.
Yep. Talking about, oh, it might have been that. I don't recall. I don't think I ever said any of that. Even though there's fucking YouTube, Google, your own fucking search engine, Bing, that tells you this. And that brings me to the next point we had a discussion about that really got me fucking heated. and the Xbox are still eating this up like dumbasses. And that I'm not even gonna take back or hold back. You guys are dumbasses if that's what you believe. That PlayStation is the reason there's exclusivity. You gotta
Oh,
be the dumbest fucking person I've ever met if that's the what you believe. Because there's been Nintendo, Sega, all these other console platforms that have been doing exclusivities for years. Even PC has their certain games that were on other platforms until 20 years later, if that. I mean, I don't want to hear that shit, but Nutella, whatever the fucking guy's name is, Natalia,
Nadella.
Nadella, there you go, same shit. That guy's a fucking. Oh my god, I can't even think of a
So,
word for him right now. It's just beyond stupid.
and that's the funny thing. If you bring that up, people will say, "Oh no, it's basically he's projecting into the future that he wants basically exclusive to no longer be a thing and everyone to have
Man,
ease of access to all the games." No, no, no. In court, his statement was that the only reason they were forced to do exclusives because Sony was pushing them and was doing exclusives. But like if Sony was the only company out there doing exclusive third party exclusives, while Nintendo's been basically building their platform for decades on this.
here's the fucked up part though. PlayStation didn't really start getting into exclusives that heavy, mostly until the PS4 era, because PS3 was kind of like slippery.
Yeah.
But Xbox and Xbox 360 went heavy on exclusivity deals, third-time party deals,
Blue
and now all of a
Dragon.
sudden, yep, all of a sudden now it's fucking PlayStation. I mean, motherfucker, you guys had Call of Duty marketing for like years on end. That's why I even bought an Xbox was for Call of Duty, and they even had a partnership with Turtle, the Turtle Beach headsets, where you get more promotions for like in-game rewards. I'm like, and now all because Sony's been getting that marketing deal, and they've been actually investing in these studios and helping them out sell games and everything. All of a sudden, they're the bad guys when you guys stop doing it. That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen on Twitter.
What this tells me, because we now know, even the Xbox documentary that Microsoft had their input in, has confirmed that Microsoft's goal with Xbox is not to be into gaming. It's to basically to ruin Sony, to take Sony out
Yep.
of the picture. Because of the statement that Sony said that they want to take the personal computer out of the living room, which was just an advertising saying their console would do a bunch of stuff and you wouldn't need to have a PC. Your PC, you could keep it in your office.
Yeah,
But
it's bullshit.
Microsoft took it personal and they went to war against Sony. And still to this day, it's their, from what we're seeing, it's their biggest motivation. They want to go after Sony to ruin them for what they said. But looking at this chain of event, going back to the PS3 and all that, like, and the third party deals, what it's telling me, because the Xbox 360, they were pushing third party deals for exclusivity left and right, and they almost got rid of Sony in the gaming section for personal computers. They were down. Sony was not in good shape on the PS3 under Phil Harrison's tutelage. So
Yeah,
they
and it
got
didn't
rid
have
of the
the
guy.
Nvidia
Huh?
with the whole Nvidia thing and the cell
Yeah.
system part of it. It just made development hell for them, and
Hey, what's up, Anthony? Good to see you,
it
man.
was rough.
But Sony was down bad. They changed the leadership, and like they got Jack Tretton into the office to resolve the problem. They did the heavy price drop on the PS3. They got back on track. They got some deals that they
Wait,
signed.
was he the reason that it was fucking $600?
Phil Harrison?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, fuck that guy. That piece of shit made my dad spend $600 to give me a PS3. I was so fucking pissed.
Yeah. So Jack Tretton stepped in, dropped the price to what, $299 for the PS3. It's like half of the launch price.
Yeah.
And he did like a bunch of deals to get some good games towards the end of the PS3 generation, like the last what 2-3 years, and it got back up, sold a lot of units, got some good games on there with solid performance. That's when XDev really started like to take a stand, like, okay, we're gonna help developers out there. And there's that other art studio, I don't remember the exact name, that basically they're devs that are there to assist external studios. That's where he really got them to work and really invested in that structure. And good games were now going to the PS3. So towards the end of that generation, PS3 was deep down and they curved back up and they went back into the race and actually sold more PS3 than Xbox had sold the Xbox 360s, even though Xbox was dominating that generation all along. And then
It
came the
didn't help
next
they had
gen.
their Red Ring of Death though as well, because
Yeah, but
I
they
it was like the
handled it
first
so
of
well that people kind of forgave them for that. Because they did.
uh,
They paid the money to have all those consoles changed. That cost them a fortune.
what they did for me is they swapped it, and I was able to get the newer serial model that they were selling at like half the cost, the cheaper one at that time.
Okay.
And then my dad was like surprised. He's like, "Well, shit, we paid like twice the amount when it launched." But I was like, "Hey, man, at least it's covered. It was free." They just told me to ship it out to them, and they sent me a new one at that point. And there was
Mm-hmm.
no issues. Like you said, the games did come finally. It was really good. But I will say, with the whole Nvidia thing, one game looked really good on the PS3, and it was one of the like first games I bought with it. It was actually Fight Night.
Oh,
That thing looked amazing.
yep.
Like my dad was actually impressed, and he's like, "Holy shit, this is a video game!" I'm like, "Yeah, man." That's why it was so expensive.
Yeah, Flight Night was phenomenal on the PS3.
Uh, and they just
But
keep doing more and more with PS5, Spider-Man now, and all
but
these other things.
just to go back to the point where I was building up to earlier, basically Microsoft was almost rid of PlayStation back in the PS3. Like it was almost a done deal. They were dominating. But Sony came back in. Jack Tretton stepped in the office and built Sony back up, built PlayStation back up in the industry, got the right deals, the right games, the right support for the devs, and Sony was back on track. Plus, they had Mark Cerny already working on the PS4, and I'm pretty sure that Xbox got some intel on what was going on and that they were going in and strong for the PS4. I think already what's happening right now was decided at that point. They stopped doing the third party deals. They, well, not stopped. They started reducing third party deals. They started dropping a lot of content and building down the Xbox brand as a whole. That is all a theory. I'm not stating that as a fact. And started building the notion that Sony's buying third party support everywhere to get all those exclusive deals, and being the smaller and smaller player because they knew that they have the cash to buy whatever they want, so that then they can start acquiring everything like we're seeing right now, try to acquire large parts of the market and try to make Sony look like the bad guy for paying off people. But what Sony is doing, and we saw it with Street Fighter V. Street Fighter V was not in production. Sony approached Capcom. They told them, "We want a new Street Fighter game for the PS4. If we collaborate with you guys and we pay you for it, will you make the game?" The game was not in development. They did not steal Street Fighter V from Xbox. They went to them, they did a deal, and Capcom got people to work on Street Fighter V because Sony approached them. So Sony was not poaching. They were doing a lot of that on the market, reaching devs, offering them like, if you make that game, we'll do a promotional deal. We'll assist you with the development. We're gonna do this and that just to have the game come out. And they made games that happen that were not happening. So now Microsoft got pissy and they started to bring in the notion of, okay, we're going to look like the weak player, then we're going to buy everything. And we're seeing the results of this right now. That is my theory of what's been happening. They've been planning that for a while. They didn't care if they were losing because on the scale of Microsoft wide, it's not heavy losses. But in terms of market dominance, if they get the gaming aspect part of their PC infrastructure and everything, that's a big win for them. So that's why Microsoft doesn't care if they have to bleed money and be the loser part for a few years. If they can crush Sony, then what's going to happen next. Nintendo's next in line. So,
Yeah. I mean, the truth finally came out, and they're trying to cover it up, trying to still act like they're the good guys, and I'm just the amount of crap I've seen. It made me fed up. I was just like, yeah, you guys go ahead and believe everything you see then, because it was beyond dumb when that came out of his mouth, saying that exclusivity is started because of Sony. I'm like, yeah, no, man. You guys were doing these deals and whatnot all before all that occurred, and they actually had the market. They were doing well.
yeah.
It was their mess up. They fucked it up. They didn't want to invest anymore. Then they created damn Game Pass, and all the sales went to shit. And now there's a cult mentality of, oh, Game Pass is the best value, and I don't gotta spend shit no more. Or there's people that are begging, hey, is it going to Game Pass? Hey, is this going to Game Pass? Hey, Phil, can you put this on Game Pass? Hey, can you pay for all my fucking games in the future at this point? I'm like, the hell?
Yeah. So there's a major shift happening in the industry, and it's not a good one.
Hell no.
We can easily see quality PlayStation versus Xbox right now. If you say that Xbox is getting good AAA games on the market right now,
Need to
I'm sorry,
reevaluate
but
that.
you need to open your eyes because it's not happening. There's Forza Horizon 5, which is a good game, but it's been overinflated beyond according to what it is. I played it. It looks good, but there's some meat missing to that game.
Uh, that game almost looked like a mobile game compared to what was shown before. I don't know if
It's
those photos were altered. I can't say because all these kids keep console warring. But if those were legit photos, that game looked like ass. It
Oh, you're
looked like it
talking
was
about
delivered.
Forza Motorsport.
Yes.
Oh no, Forza Motorsport right now is looking like shit.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the past games since the Xbox Series X came out. Forza Horizon 5
Uh,
looks good, plays well, but I was playing it and the races were like it
I'll
was
put it like
repetitive. I didn't feel challenged playing that game.
no. It's more of an
Uh,
easy turn your brain off game. Even my cousin says the same thing. He's not a huge racer, but he always plays that game because it's you can turn your brain off and literally just hold the trigger and you'll win every time.
yeah,
And then you get like 5,000 fucking cars and shit in like an
so
hour of playing.
it, it's pretty much a mobile game driver, like
Uh,
a racer. It's the races are designed so that you win them. You're not thinking like Gran Turismo 7. If I'm playing that, I
oh
gotta
god,
learn
that
my curves. I gotta learn my physics of the car, how it's reacting.
yeah.
Forza
Actually, I look
Horizon?
online for the settings, and then I'll look online to alternate the dynamics of the downforce, or if when I'm making my turns, if I'm hitting the brakes too hard off of a turn, it's rough. but
It's it's
it's
a learning
rewarding when
curve.
you win.
Yeah,
That's the thing. It's
you
almost like playing Elder Scrolls. It
yeah
sucks ass, but it's rewarding. It's one of those games when you play as kids, like, damn, why the fuck is this game so hard? And then you're like, finally, I beat it after 10 hours of going
yeah.
back at it.
You finish a difficult track on Gran Turismo, you feel like you learned something.
Exactly.
So, and Forza Horizon, beautiful graphics, looks amazing, looks better than Forza Motorsports.
Which I don't get, but
But
it is what it is.
yeah, the last footage I've seen, Forza Horizon 5 looked better than the
It
next
did, and
Motorsport.
that's the sad thing, though, because Motorsport, you're not having a lot on the fucking screen. It's supposed to be like GT7, where you're literally just on a track and you're purely racing. You're
Hmm.
getting down to the nitty gritty. You're just starting the fucking race against your friends or the computer, progress, and you go about your day.
Yeah,
Nope. They said, let's make it more shitty, and then blame it that it's because we're trying to do ray tracing, 60 frames, blah blah blah. But I didn't see any of that shit. It
yeah.
didn't look impressive. I barely saw any reflections in game because no one's really looking at the fucking car and being like, oh, look at the sunlight. I'm trying to focus and win.
And there's Hi-Fi Rush, which is it's borderline AAA. It's a quality
it,
game. It's a
it's a good
great
kids
game.
game.
It's a good game. It's a totally good game. I look at it as a small production hit.
Yeah,
That's what
it's
it
more like
is.
an indie title.
It's Tango Gamework. It's a small studio. They made a hell of a good game, which I
Uh,
applaud them. That is one good game. Is it a system seller? On
no,
the scale of God of War and Horizon and all that?
well, there's the other issue.
On the scale
I'm
of
not.
Fable and other Xbox marquee games?
Well, here's the other issue though with that, Doc, as you know, is what they cater to isn't even the powerhouse players. It's no longer the. Well, I guess it's never been the Series X. It's always been about Series S, which is
Exactly.
why they never want to fucking leave it behind.
Todd
Fucking parity.
Howard. Oh, you were going to say?
No, I was just saying with that parity clause, it's like they're never gonna leave it behind, and it's like I'm not gonna spend $500 to play one little indie game. But then again, it's not going to be that $500 focal point. Everyone's just going to be bringing up, well, you can get the Series S with the Series S. Oh, new console design, Series S. They came out with a fucking Barbie version instead of a game, and it's for Series S.
Mm-hmm. Todd
Not a single
Howard,
Series X besides Halo.
the dev behind Starfield, Todd Howard, he's doing the bulk of his gameplay on a Series S. That's the console that's being prioritized.
Oh, there goes. That's why it's 30 frames.
Yeah, he said it's like, oh, that will work well on the Series S. All of my gameplay that I do, like all the testing that he does, he only uses Series S.
That explains a lot. Not in the Go either.
So, yeah, there's an issue. They went for a different direction. Clearly,
Yeah, One Direction.
but here's the thing: they're identifying themselves as the big power player, the most powerful console, going against PlayStation. But they're pushing the market in a totally different direction. That's borderline more mobile, more like because you're gonna have cell phones on the market extremely soon. I'm
Bro,
not
my
talking
iPhone is
5 years.
probably stronger than the Series S.
Yeah, you have phones out the door right now that can rival the Series S. So, yeah, they want to shift to mobile production. I understand that's their market they're going for. Sony keeps doing the big AAA push for quality games, and they're gonna
Yeah.
keep on doing that.
Well, didn't they also say Phil was like, yeah, if there's an email that leaked, and it's like, yeah, if we could just get rid of the fucking consoles and just go mobile.
Yeah,
I was like, yes, that's really what your fan base wants to hear is, fuck you, thank you for spending all your money and time, and we'll take your shit. Enjoy mobile gaming now.
which makes sense if the Series S is being pushed that much. They're gonna make mobile game and they'll be playable on the console. Then you bought a Series X for nothing.
I already felt like I bought the Series X for nothing. That was such a slap in the face where every single game I would play on the Series X was downgraded or played worse than other consoles, and it was just like, why?
Because also that's the thing. PS5 Pro is out the door right now. It's coming out possibly at the end of next year. We've
Yeah, it's supposed
already
to be
seen.
in line with the Switch 2.
You mean a release date?
Uh-huh. So those are the two going to be the biggest systems that release next year. Is most likely the PS5 Pro and the Switch 2. Which honestly, I'm definitely getting the Pro and the 2. I'll even probably hand out the old ones to the wife if she wants it, while I get the upgraded versions. But yeah, I'm definitely getting both of those.
Yeah, I'm most likely waiting for the Switch 2 before onboarding the Nintendo platform again.
Yeah.
Especially if it's next year. For the PS5 Pro, I still playing 1440. I'm still happy with my current PS5. I'll consider it because we've seen, like, I think I showed you the specs of what's being tested right now because the devs already have the PS5 Pro in their hands right now. First party devs already have it. Some third party devs are slated for receiving it soon if they haven't already started. So they're going slow and sending those dev kits, but it's coming.
Here's the thing,
And
though. That's not gonna be good, though.
hmm?
Competition-wise, that's not gonna be good.
What do you mean?
Exactly what I mean. Xbox is already pretty much down the shitter. If that is legitimately happening next year, then they're pretty much fucked even more. There's no and ifs or buts. They're screwed.
That's the
Every
thing.
developer is going to be skipping them.
So PS5 Pro is likely coming next year. Performance is gonna be huge. I've seen some numbers, and it's like 4K 120 seconds, 120 frame per second will be an easy get for most games with that hardware.
So what is it? What, a 20-25% increase or even more than
What I've seen is more. I think like 40% and more.
that? Ooh.
It's pretty big.
Because I know last time they always it was like a 20%, give or take, like
No,
with the PS4 Pro to the PS4. It was like a around a 20% difference, I think.
the gap is much bigger than the PS4 Pro.
Mm,
It'll
damn.
be pretty massive. And the other thing is, and that's from the guys from Digital Foundry that confirmed that Xbox not only, well, Xbox also has a pro version of their console. It's the Xbox Series X. That's how they pitched it. That's how they approached the guys from Digital Foundry and a bunch of other people. They decided that their main console was the Xbox Series S, and that they were going to release the pro version of their console, the Xbox Series X, on day one altogether so that they don't have to wait a few years to get a mid generation jump.
Which is the stupidest thing ever because the PS5 is still outperforming that.
Yep. So you don't get the benefit of improved technology, better dies and hardware, better like GPUs and all that.
Mm.
Which okay, you have to stay reasonably within the same architecture. But that's a fun thing now because of how they made the consoles, especially with the PS5 and the Xbox Series. They're so malleable that you can actually jump like PS5 right now is Zen 2, I believe, and
Yeah,
they
it's
could
already
jump
A2. Are they doing the 3 now?
the latest rumors I've heard about the hardware, they were jumping to Zen 3. And even if they do that, it's not a problem in terms of architecture. It'll be easy to manage.
That'd be impressive, especially if it comes with the FRS that's improved that's on PC.
So
Um,
all the best hardware right now, the best updates that's been like in all of that hardware would be implemented into the PS5 Pro.
is it going to be a custom modified version of it? Because the ones on
Yeah,
PC are kind of ass compared to NVIDIA's DLSS.
same idea than the PS5.
Hmm. So
So
it's their modified version of it, which actually looks impressive, and this is why PC ports struggle. Ooh, imagine the Spider-Man, or actually not even that, the Wolverine game.
yeah,
Look at that. What if that's the showcase?
yeah. So it'll be very interesting to see what direction they go with that. PS5, it's Pro is definitely going to be an interesting device. I do hope that those leaks I've seen are true because they got a hell of a powerhouse coming. Plus, in the cloud, they're talking about even more processing power available if you're streaming the games because you have the AMD Epic Blades. So they're talking about stacking multiple PS5 instances together to get a higher quality rendering. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Damn.
So that'll be like shaking Jiffin out of their boots, kind of crazy.
That'd be very impressive, actually. I'm not gonna lie.
Yep. So very intrigued to see the direction they're going to go with this. Looking forward to see all that rolled out. And also, I was talking about a moment ago about the cloud gaming. There's been
Yeah.
some fun patents I've been looking at just for fun. With when Twitter was
Oh,
going to hell,
yeah.
I was just going around like the
Yeah, I've
first
read that.
the first one that I found was a web-based game controller. So basically, Sony is looking at doing pretty much what Stadia did: a controller that connects directly to the web for controlling your cloud gaming games. So you have your controller, that's hooked up to the Wi-Fi, or they're talking a lot also through your cell phone, directly a cell phone antenna. So it can be either or, hooked up directly to the network, controls your game at the data center, and you pair it up with any screen, and you have your game playing on a different screen. So you have that controller with a faster input latency that's going to the server, and you're playing your game. So exactly the same thing that we've seen with Stadia.
Except there was that projector one that you were showing.
Yeah.
That you showed me with that little
After
image.
finding that, I also found this. So that is okay. The first image they're talking about, okay, projector, cloud remote gaming service, and if you look at the article, the title, that is something I found very interesting. And am I expecting that device to land anytime soon? Not really, but it's interesting to see the work that's done on it. So the title says remote play using a local projector. So it just says remote play, a bit like the PlayStation Q, which is a remote
Yep.
play device. But then you go into the drawings. Oh, cloud/remote gaming service. Interesting. So they now consider cloud gaming and remote gaming the same. And I'll just go back to my tweet because you'd have to rotate the images. So they're talking about, and it's not yet fixed, a way of adding a screen projector on the controller, either under, over, or within. My guess is they're still working out bringing all of this together. And so you have your controller, and they're showing like shift view. It stabilizes. You got the wall. It projects. Sorry about this. It projects your game on whatever wall you wanted to, a screen or whatever. So it's a projection from the controller, and even if you're moving your controller around, there's image stabilization happening. So probably like you're going from one wall to the other and you're just moving around, it'll just map out whatever surface you have in front of you and just try to put a good rectangle on it with the right angles and everything. And as you're moving around, it'll try to keep the shape. So if you're going around like this with a controller, the screen should still be moving. But if you're playing and you're just like slightly moving the controller, the image should stabilize enough for like basically the quality of the gaming to remain optimal.
Yeah.
So that is extremely interesting. And what I like about this is the fact, like I was saying, uh, they're playing around with devices for optimizing cloud gaming to make it more portable, make it a more
Accessible.
exactly. So here you have one device, that one controller that we see right here. Only one device with you. You connect it through Wi-Fi or through mobile data or whatever, and you can do your cloud gaming with you. No other peripheral needed. You don't even need to carry a screen with you.
Yep.
That is pretty badass. Once that comes out, if they do make that device, you're traveling, going to hotels, you're going to your families, whatever. You don't know if you'll have a screen available. You don't have to carry a dongle. Hope that the hotel has a Ethernet hookup in the room that you can use, or that the Wi-Fi works and all that. With mobile data plans now, I know in Europe you pay next to nothing, and you got high-speed internet on your mobile, and hopefully that we get that over here in North America soon. Uh, so you just have a simple device, get a good internet connection on it that's stable, 25 megabyte per second, whatever a flat surface available. You're at the airport, there's Wi-Fi at the airport that's good
Yep.
enough. Just find a wall, take your controller out, turn it on, connect, play. You're good.
No, I mean the other leaks were legit, so I'm assuming this one will be as well. So I definitely see this happening, and that's the thing is that Sony has all this in play and ready to go, whereas the competitor, only one competitor, is just constantly trying to make an illusion that they're doing everything great and everything's fine and there's no need to worry. Meanwhile, Nintendo, who's never mentioned, even ABK forgot. Oh shit, Nintendo exists. Damn, they had 150 something million like sales and whatnot. It's like, oh shit, we should make Call of Duty on there
Yep.
because Bobby always wants money. You know.
Oh, that's a thing. That's something else that was hilarious.
Uh,
Bobby Kotick learned about the agreement to release Call of Duty on Nintendo from the
without
press.
him knowing.
He did not know, and nobody at Activision knew. So he said that he was bringing Call of Duty to Nintendo and never asked a single developer from Treyarch, from like whatever studios that are working on Call of Duty, all of them, they
Yep.
were never consulted on this. Like to ask, okay, is the current engine you're working on right now that you're making your Call of Duty games? If, let's say, we were to add Nintendo in 2 years, is that feasible? They were never asked. He never asked anyone within the Activision Blizzard Kings organization before signing that deal.
Yep. It was fucking hilarious, but sad at the same time.
Yeah.
I was
Phil
like, that's what you
Spencer's,
get.
ladies and gentlemen, the guy
Uh,
needs to get fired. It's bad. So
uh,
it's in a sad condition. I'm sad because I would love for Xbox to be in a actual healthy competing position. By healthy is totally the opposite of what's happening right now. I mean what they did when it was the Xbox 360 in terms of deals to get the games and all that, and like being part of the industry and not just eating the industry and chewing out whatever's coming out the other end. So it's in a very bad position right now and there needs to be change. So it is what it is.
one day they'll learn. Who knows?
Yeah. In the meantime,
Ready?
Sony's just rehiring everyone. Everyone gets eat up by Microsoft right now. Is just leaving and joining other studios.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. All right, I've said my piece and my vent against Microsoft. It was the saddest shit I've ever seen on Twitter and from Xbox and all these people. Oh, actually, I'll add one more thing before ending my whole thing. What was it? The paid. What was it the YouTubers, all these Xbox you see on Twitter? Everyone's
Oh
paid.
yeah.
They got exposed
Yep.
because they're paid accounts. They're people that are being paid to promote Xbox. It's the greatest thing ever. Xbox
Talking
services
about the
best.
Colt
It's amazing.
Eastwoods of this world, and I'm not afraid of calling his name because he's been caught many times.
Yep. Where
Like,
he talks shit when he wasn't supposed to, and then he takes it back. He's like, "Oh, Redfall is fucking amazing. It's 60. Oh, I don't know what happened. It was supposed to be great when he got chewed out, and then he's back to, oh, it's doing great with the updates. I'm like, okay.
like content creators were supposed to be like speaking their mind, and all of a sudden you get five, six, seven of them that you can literally take their clips, lining them up, and it's exactly the same text and the same wording.
Yep. And then the comments are like, well, PlayStation people always do that too. MGB or whatever his name is, and all these other people. I'm like,
No,
no.
they retweet each other.
Yeah, they retweet each other, but they also like try to copy the same layouts and stuff. They don't do the exact same word for word fucking headlines. And from the same article that's paid by Xbox, which is what was it, Trusted Reviews.
Yeah.
That's literally Xbox's rating website.
What's
So
up,
it's the
Ron?
dumbest thing ever.
The FTC sent me here.
And there was one guy which I showed you that tweet where I commented. I'm like, great. So Xbox decided to sell you the piece of shit Series S, not even their X.
Yeah.
Oh man. And then Halo Infinite lost 98% of its player base on Steam.
Yep. That is pretty bad.
So the game's dead. And I love Halo franchise, but damn, they fucking put it to shit. Like they literally were doing so well. 11 million sales, not MAUs, actual sales, versus 2 million, and then, oh, 25 million MAUs, blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, look where that's at now, bud.
Because
That doesn't do
the,
shit.
the multiplayer was fun at the beginning,
It
but
was
the
fun, but then it went to shit because there's hackers everywhere. Because guess what? We want our games to be everywhere, so we're gonna force it to be with PC players.
yeah, they could not allow. They didn't allow people, because that's the thing. I bought, like, I had an Xbox Series S, and I bought it for one reason and one reason only. I was like, oh, Game Pass is added gravy, but the one reason I bought an Xbox Series S, because I wanted to play Halo multiplayer on it.
Yep,
Because
we
I
played that
tried the
together.
beta, I tried the beta, and I wanted to play Halo multiplayer, and I was like, I want to be able to shut off the because it's going to be a free to play game. I saw that coming a mile away. I was like, I'm gonna get it on the Xbox Series S, and I'll turn off crossplay, and actually just play against other console people where there's much more limited cheating. There's still ways with certain controller plug-in and all, but it doesn't happen too often, and it's much more limited. And no, the game came out. People were trying to disable crossplay. You could do in the settings on the console, but you turned on the game and it did nothing because the game was cross-platform because you were playing a PC game on your Xbox. That's what you were doing. So I was pretty bitter about this,
Yeah.
and they didn't maintain the game properly. Took a while until the proper content came out for it. They didn't do anything about cheaters for a very long time, and it was easy to see. Like, you were playing online, like people were tracking you through walls, and they lined up the shot as you were going through a doorway. It's like, yeah, no way he knew I was there.
Yeah.
So,
It was pretty bad. We literally played like 3 matches and then we called it quits and never played again.
yep,
All
it's
right.
sad.
Well, Doc, that's it for me and my rant. I'm done for the night.
Yeah,
Uh,
we're gonna take a few weeks break. Personally, I'm gonna be on auxiliary force protection on base here on call for the next few weeks. So I won't be able to hold podcast much because I can just get a call and it's like gotta go now. So I'm gonna have to tone down the content for the next 2 weeks. So I think a break will will do some good.
who knows? We'll get some more Sony news or
Yeah,
Nintendo. That lifts me up.
we'll see about this. But I probably won't be hosting a podcast at least for the next 2 weeks, where I'll be on 2 hour notice. But afterward, we'll see. It'll be interesting to see how Sony reacts and how that FTC story concludes and everything. So I'll post whenever we go live as a podcast. I'll still do some game streaming here and there just because I can end those pretty easily anytime I want. So on this, where can we find you?
Oh, for now, I'll still be on Twitter at
And on
Brian Simon.
Threads?
All right, Threads. Yeah, if it comes down in solid, yeah, then I'll pretty much be done with Twitter because I'm done
Because
with
the beta comes out in 4 days.
3 days.
3 days? Isn't it on
Yeah, they said
7th or is it
26.
6th? Okay, it's on the 6th.
So Threads is on the 6th, and Blue Sky is supposed to be soon as well.
Oh yeah, I'm already on Blue Sky, by the way.
I think
So
that's on the 6th, like the full release. I'm not sure. So we'll see about that. But yeah.
yeah, it's Doctor Spaceman Games on Blue Sky. If you follow me on Twitter, exactly the same name, easy to find. Excellent. I already got 14 followers on there, and people are limited. So definitely awesome. So yeah, as for myself, oh, we didn't talk about the games we're playing.
Oh, games? Oh, that's easy.
Final Fantasy 16.
I would love to say that because I took a break because I've been on the grind. Diablo 4 and Final Fantasy 16. 16 because I do love the damn story. It's so effing good right now. I love Sid's character. It's a lot better than even previous ones. I don't know what it is, but even the voice actor himself is so good. Even though he was also in Diablo, it's just in this one he's a more prominent like feel to it. Like
Oh, he's phenomenal.
Yeah, he's just like that must-have character at all times next to you.
I really hope there's either a DLC or another game like a spin-off with just him as a lead.
Yeah, they did great with him. Like he's that. I would, yeah, I would definitely say narcissistic asshole because he
Yeah.
is.
Oh, I love that about him.
But it's awesome. He like owns up to it. It's the funniest shit ever. Anytime he talks back to somebody, I'm just like, all right, go ahead, do your thing, man. I got it. I'll sit in the back.
Yeah. No, I absolutely love the writing around his character and the performance, everything. Like he's the highlight of the game personally.
the I do like Jill. I haven't gotten to the point where you've seen her grow yet. But I'm gonna start doing side quests as well because I've been seeing that it's awesome and it adds more to the main story itself. Like it gives you that feels also. I love Torgal, though I wish you can turn him the fuck off sometimes when you're on auto. Luckily, I don't utilize that. I do everything manual. The only thing I have that helps a little is the slowdown. Other than that, uh, God, the game is amazing. I love it.
Yeah, I turned off all. Like I didn't equip not even once any of the rings,
Yeah.
except in the demo. But because they kind of force you at the beginning to just try it out.
Yep.
But
But you did get more control with it, which is why I like it. Without it, there's more control with it.
I would like Torgal might be the only one I might consider equipping just to get the easy heal out of him and all that.
I just couldn't do it because he wouldn't shut the fuck up. It was so
Yeah,
annoying. It's like Torgal, heal, Torgal, attack, Torgal.
yeah,
Every 2 seconds, and I'm like, dude, I love Torgal, but come on now. I don't need to hear you talk about him every like time I'm fighting. That's why I do it manually, off of the potions.
yeah.
But if I need to have like the extra hit attack while I'm busy fighting one enemy, then he can attack the other one that's from a distance, shooting, hitting me from range. So I love the combat style, the flexibility of everything. It's versatile. I don't know what people were saying that the game's combat it's ass. This is pretty much Devil May Cry. It's not even Final Fantasy. I'm just like,
It's 10 on its own.
yeah. I'm like, you guys never played Final Fantasy then, because behind it all, it's still Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
It gets you those feels to it. Like I love it. It's definitely up there with Final Fantasy 7, at least for me. That's how I feel.
No, the game is phenomenal. Plus, I kind of bought myself a early birthday gift. I bought a Hogwarts Legacy,
I saw that.
and that's what I've been playing all weekend. And yeah, it's another. It's still a contender in my opinion for Game of the Year. Much more than people have been letting on lately. It's a phenomenal game. It looks amazing. The amount of details in that game is insane for anyone who likes a wizarding world.
It
Uh,
hits the nostalgia if you're a huge Harry Potter person.
yeah,
That's the thing for me. It's nostalgic.
yeah. So, no, it's a well crafted game. So I certainly applaud that studio. Ron says, when does the July PS Plus games come out? Tomorrow. That's for the monthly games. So if you haven't claimed your June games for the monthly games, be sure to do it tonight because tomorrow the new monthly games are coming on. And for the PlayStation catalog, I'm not too sure when that's coming on. Might be at the same
It's in
time,
the
might be
mid.
later. Yo, Vet Gaming, what's up, man? Coming in just as we're about to close the stream.
The catalog is in the middle of the month. They always do it. I wouldn't say around the 20-year scenario,
Ah, right,
or like a
yeah.
little bit before. But yeah, Bobby gave us Call of Duty.
Yep.
It's fun. Won't be able to play with anyone because the game's
Well,
old as shit.
the multiplayer in Cold War when it comes out, if you turn off crossplay, should be interesting. No PC
Uh,
cheats and a lot of people. It'll be easy to get kill streaks.
that's true.
A lot
I
of
mean, it's
people
easy now
won't know
with.
how to play. Will be playing it.
I mean, it's easy now with DMZ. I mean, that's why I still, from time to time, I'm tempted to play
Warzone.
Fortnite just because people can't shoot for shit because they're always about building. That's still a thing.
Yeah.
They actually are good with their anti-hacks. I mean, they're doing better with the newer COD where they're making people hallucinate. That's a new feature apparently. They'll think they see enemies and it's not there.
Nice.
So, anything to prevent hackers from thinking they're the shit just to get one kill. But I mean, the other games are pretty decent. It's probably not their strongest lineup, so I'm more excited for the catalog than anything,
Yeah,
if
that's
I'm being
cool.
honest. But that, see, there you go. I can criticize it. PlayStation did shitty this time with their main PlayStation Plus. I didn't like it, but hey, I know at least I'll get good games at the end of the year.
Oh
Give
man.
me my Spider-Man, so I'm good.
Hey, what's up, Rudigs? Good to see you. Just as we're closing down the show, so PlayStation can do no wrong. Yeah, they're on a good
No, they do
console.
wrong. They do wrong. Let's not be that optimistic, okay? Everyone fucks up here and there,
They've had a lot of
but
solid games coming out, but
they have my good faith. I'll put it that way.
mhm.
They haven't lost me
They
because
every
everyone has
year they
their
have some
shortcomings.
good games coming out. That's the thing with PlayStation. They're consistent with that. Sure, sometimes like Horizon was one of the things that they wouldn't give the PS5 upgrade for free, contrary to what they said they would. People
Yep.
called them out on it, and they rectified that.
$10 upgrade. See, I'll criticize the shit out of it. I was pissed. I paid for it. I was still pissed about it, but I know the quality's there, so it is what it is. You get what you pay for.
Yeah. So on this, thanks everyone for joining towards the end. It was planned to be a very short one tonight, but thanks for joining, Brian. And I will
For
update
sure,
when we
man.
do the next one on the socials. Don't know yet. So, like I mentioned earlier, we'll be taking a few weeks break while people are on vacation. It's summertime. It's a bit chaotic, but I'll
Mm-hmm.
update on the socials whenever we take back on the podcast. So, on this, thank you everyone for joining in. Have a very
Thank
good
y'all.
night.
Good night, everybody. Take it easy.